LSU football practice, 4:15 this afternoon on the field. Dante Stark, only recruit 2019 signee that did not report. Sony Fanua was there. Dante Stark expected to possibly get in before fall camp or before the semester. Still working on his academics to get him qualified and in. 4:15 this afternoon, LSU on the practice field. New Orleans Saints back there today. We got some Sean Payton and Mike Thomas sound we'll catch you up with. Lead you off with your headlines for the weekend in the 8 o'clock hour. Derek Stingley Sr. going to stop by the conversation 1 hour from now. Hunt Palmer every Friday here on OTB. Good morning, man. How are you?
I'm all right. Does that sound good? Nope.
I am nervous that Hunt is not going to make it through this segment.
Got a sniper over there.
I'm fighting it a little bit. That's all right.
2 number 18s. You cool with it?
Sure. I mean, if they've got 2 guys they think can do it, I mean, it's not the first time that's happened, so.
I am so surprised. Hunt's usually very, get off my lawn about things.
I mean, everyone's like, oh, 18's not that cool. Like, if the kids like it, just go with it. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
So I told Rivers this morning, I think it's more for the argument of me and 7. Some years in 7, they're like, you know what? There's nobody on the team good enough. Some years in 7, they're like, you know what? We're going to need that number back.
Yeah. Yep. See, when it gets to that point, you got a bit of a problem. That's kind of like.
What's the problem? I mean, the fraternity speaks and says, look, it only goes to playmakers. Delpit, you're up, man.
I don't know if that's exactly what happened last year, but kind of.
Yeah, right. Give me your side of the story then. So 2 number 18s. Give me your storyline. So here we are. All right, another season of LSU football. They're on the practice field this afternoon. Terrio was talking about some of the things that he's looking for as far as expectation. What are you looking for this afternoon?
I think the thing for me entering this camp is that it's not a camp that you go in with a ton of questions like, ooh, I need to see this, we pretty much know what they've got, which is a really comforting thing. It's as good as I've felt about quarterbacks since 2006. I've made a big point about that. They've got a lot of guys back on defense. You feel great about the coordinator on defense. I'm a little nervous about the offensive line, but you're not really going to learn that much about the offensive line going out there and watching camp. I mean, pretty much the guys are going to be out there. They've just got to play better than they did last year. So for me, just the biggest story is that you have so much familiarity with all these guys. You know what they have, and that's a comforting thing. So it's a good thing that it's not that interesting.
Why every time when I talk about the offense, when I'm in groups that talk about the offense, we never talk about Justin Jefferson?
It's kind of the same reason why right when I started, we never talked about Ruben Randall when we went to practice. I was like, well, there's not a lot to say. He runs really perfect routes and he catches everything and he's big. Justin Jefferson runs great routes. He catches everything. He's never in trouble. He's never causing any problems. He's just really good.
So to you, he's clearly the best wide receiver on this team?
Do I want to go that far? Yeah. I mean,
from a consistency standpoint,
I love Jamar Chase. I've been banging the Jamar Chase drum for a year and a half now. I think they got to get him the ball. I think he's awesome. Terrace Marshall's got better measurables than both those guys, but in terms of consistency, production, all that, Justin Jefferson is the best. And it's just it goes to show you don't have to be the most physically blessed person. Mm-hmm. If you run routes the correct way, you will get open, and then all you got to do is catch it, and he does that.
You believe the hype, speaking of physically blessed, that they're going to throw the ball to Stephon Sullivan at tight end?
Yeah, I think they are. And primarily because of something Hunt just said. One of his concerns would be the O-line. Well, one of mine would be not only the O-line, but also who's gonna run the ball. And you and I talked about that last segment. Last year, yeah, I think there was some questions for sure, and you saw a guy step up that had been there for a long time, but we knew physically he could carry that load. It's a big, strong running back in Brissett. Had a couple unfortunate drops and mishandles, but the ability was there. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a great back.
Wow.
But he's not big, and so how does he take the hits, and then who gets the ball after that? And then you got some questions on the O-line. So this is the first time for me in a long time that I've been like, oh man, are we going to be one-dimensional? Are we just going to throw the ball? Which never said that before.
I think that I'm comfortable with them at running back. I think that they've got a platoon of guys that can handle everything they want to do. Is there one guy that can do it best of all that they want to do? I mean, if there was one, it probably is Clyde. I mean, if you needed a 3-down back at LSU, I guess Clyde would be the guy. Yeah, I'm with you on that. But I think you've got enough in Emory's skill set, in Ty Davis'
Are we going with Price there, or are we just?
I don't
Or are
know,
we
man.
stopping with Davis?
TDP?
I don't know
TDP?
what. I don't know what his. But he still has Price on the back of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Chris Curry looked like a linebacker
He's
showing
big.
up yesterday. I mean, he looked huge showing up yesterday. And then every time I ask somebody about the running backs up there, they always tell me about Leonard Fournette. You know, I mean, like they always seem like he's going to have a role, whether it's that they tell you he's the best screen back that they have in the passing game, or he's just a guy that can go out there and handle a duty. He's going to do his job. They're confident that he's not going to mess up.
In terms of how they handle number of, I'm not trying to compare this group to the group I'm about to talk about in terms of the NFL future, because all these guys played in the NFL. But in terms of how they handle the room, it may look like 11. In 11, Spencer Ware got the carries in the first quarter. And then they went to Michael Ford because the defense was tired, and he ran around him. And Alfred Blue could come in and give him some help. And then later in the season, Kenny Hilliard came on as a freshman and was kind of the feature back late in the year. So nobody was the bell cow of that team, but they had a bunch of guys they felt comfortable with, and they went forward with that. I think you could see some of that. I think Clyde is going to get the carries early in the game, especially early in the season. Remember, Fournette didn't in his freshman year wasn't the feature back until Florida in Game 6.
Yeah.
I think Game 5 was Mississippi State, and he had 38 yards. Like it takes some time to figure this thing out. So Emery and Price may be the most gifted guys on the team, but it takes some time to figure out how to run at this level. It's just a different speed. So Clyde's going to be the first guy, but they're going to get everybody else involved as the season goes on and as games go on.
They lose Devin White defensively. They lose Greedy Williams in the back end. I think going in that they're better than they were last year on that side of the ball. I mean, this defense to me has depth at all three levels, and there's playmakers at all three levels. I mean, Chassaw on the front end, Divinity on the second level, and
Phillips.
Delpit. Yeah, and Phillips too. And I mean, they say that Phillips is in one of the most heated position battles alongside Patrick Queen on the team.
That surprises me because he was good last year.
He was good, big boy too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel really good about the defense. I don't have many concerns there other than depth in the front seven, and hopefully the offense has a good time of possession, and you don't put those guys out there time and time and time again. Because I feel pretty good about the first 3 or 4 on the defensive front. When you get past that, they have bodies, but I don't know enough about them. I'm curious how they handle the nose. Is Apuaika going to start from day one? Do they feel really good about Tyler Shelvin? We hear he's lost weight, or are they going to not feel great about either one of those two guys and just stick with the older guys and throw Fehoko in the middle and put Glenn Logan on the other end and decide that that's how they want to start games? Either way, those two guys I mentioned first are going to have to play. I kind of worry about the depth up front because those guys tend to get hurt because it's such a physical spot, and if they wear down, you can't stop anybody. So the first 11, 12, 13 guys they put out on defense with nickel and dime guys and rotating linebackers, I feel pretty good about. How's the depth on the front? We'll see.
You got a freshman you're looking at outside of Stingley that going to have a major impact?
Cade York, is that an answer?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, those are points.
He better be good.
You got to score. Cade York's the kicker.
Cole Tracy.
That's right.
I mean, Cole Tracy's gone. You know, I mean, you talk about the biggest 3 replacements on this team. I'd imagine that Devin White is, replacing him is going to be top of the list.
Yeah.
Greedy Williams, your cornerback opposite Christian Fulton. I mean, like, you might have upgraded. No lie, in Stingley. And then Cole Tracy. I mean, like, Cole Tracy, how many times did that guy bail you out last year? I mean, you look at this first-year guy playing Division I college football, put him on the road in Auburn, on the opener at Miami, national TV late in the year in situations, and just as much as close to a guarantee of points in college football last year as there was Cole Tracy.
So I think the Auburn game is the one that jumps out because he makes the buzzer beater. But I think 2 games that he altered the most, and this is the nature of preseason talk, is that you revisit topics that I think I've maybe talked about on this show. But in the Mississippi State game, in the Georgia game,
yeah,
they kind of looked and went, they're not scoring very much on us. We don't need to force the issue. Once we get inside the 30, that's 3 points. Stop. And they kind of stopped. Like, they did not force the issue in those games. And I think Mississippi State scored 3 points, so that was fine. Won like 19-3. And then Georgia wasn't really doing anything, and they just kicked field goals. So I wonder how the red zone and how that side of the field changes depending on how confident they are in Cade York. With a senior quarterback, you would think they would be pretty aggressive, but those two games jump out to me going, I know I've got 3 points and our defense is stopping them. We're not going to force the issue when we get inside there.
Miniature storyline to watch in fall camp. Avery Atkins wants to handle all 3 special teams duties. He wants to kick off, place kick, be the place kicker, be the field goal kicker, and he wants to be the punter. So watch out. I mean, maybe something to watch here.
I forgot about him. That's so awesome when he kicks it out of the end zone every time.
And you have 3 years left.
I mean,
like,
that's the
all right,
best.
Paul Maneri met with the media earlier this week. Hunt, I want you to recap that when we come back and close out hour number 1. Flag football season over at Traction Sports. Still time to get your team lined up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But the deadline is fast approaching.
Yes, it is.
Jay. But this is the time the push happens.
A lot of squads put together.
Yeah,
We're good.
School starts.
You can sign up over at TractionSports.com. Great league. In fact, practice this weekend with Drew Brees on Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah, man.
Bring in the people.
Just a little name drop.
Seems casual.
Watch your step.
no
Watch
big
your
deal.
step back there. You dropped a name.
Yeah, sorry about that.
All right. Earlier this week, Paul Maneri met with the media. It's been kind of overrun and
You're
left
playing
out
with
of the
fire
news
bringing this
cycle.
up. I just want you to know.
Really?
No. I mean, people are just going to get mad.
I could care
It's
less.
football. Football.
Right. Who cares, bro? So it's been lost in the wire because Mike Thomas, Saints, LSU football, everything that's been going on. What did Maneri say that stood out? What did Maneri say at all?
Well, I'm just always nowadays just listening for injury updates. And he started by saying, I don't want to talk about injuries, but I guess I have to. Said Jaden Hill has gained some good weight and is about to start throwing. Cole Henry feels good. Obviously, he went through a little procedure after the season was over. And so those two guys, that's important. Those guys need to come back because without them, you just don't have a ton. But with them, you could be really, really good. So that was the thing that jumped out to me is that he's got a couple of guys who are about to start throwing, and we'll see if they can participate in fall practice, and hopefully they're ready to go come February, but you just don't know until they start throwing baseballs.
What have your baseball contacts said about LSU's pitching staff last season and what they went through? I mean, does people call you and what's up, bro? What's going on down there?
No, I don't get the what's going on down there because, we operate in our little bubble, but this is something that's happening everywhere. I mean, the big time programs are all losing guys and I'm sure in their local markets it's the same narrative. The question for me is the most important position on that field is in the middle of the field, and that's to be debated whether it be catcher, pitcher, center field, shortstop, but who's going to play shortstop? And so
is he going to be your guy?
I don't know. I mean, I hope. I mean, he could.
Can he play shortstop? We're talking about Cade Doty, by the way.
Yeah, he can. But you don't really know what you have until you get him out there, and not even in the fall. A lot of times the lights go off in the
put
spring.
6,000 in the stands.
And it's a different guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So who's going to play there? Who's going to? I think there's some question marks.
Eddie Smith. What were your thoughts on Eddie Smith, the hire?
A little surprising. I don't have a lot of info on him. Like when he was hired, I had to go and look and research, and everything that I saw, it seemed great, and it seemed like he's got a lot of good things he can offer to this hitting for the Tigers, something that's kind of been a coin flip for the last few years. I just remember, man, when it would be, I remember when we hired Turtle Thomas, and everybody was like, yes, Turtle Thomas. I mean, it was just, you go get the guy, no matter where he is or who he is. We're gonna go get the guy. You go get Dave Aranda, you go get Alan Dunn. Alan Dunn was a grand slam of a hire. Let me just tell you, no doubt about it, and one of the best pitching coaches in America, and we're very fortunate to have him. And so that's the only thing that concerns me. He could be great. I hope he's great. Everything that I've got so far from the guys that I've talked to are just really excited to have him there. And so we'll see.
Paul Maneri's not standing pat. He went and changed things up on the offensive side and brought in a new hitting coach with a new philosophy. He's brought in consultants, and they're dealing with some science in terms of arm injuries. They're putting sleeves on guys and running numbers they've never done before, and they've got people talking about throwing programs. He's not just sitting here going, well, we'll just try it again next year. He's trying to figure out what's going on in the offense, what's going on with the pitching injuries, and trying to figure out whether it works or not. That remains to be seen, but he's out there making moves.
Good to see you, man.
All right, guys, y'all have a good weekend.
Hit him straight this weekend.
I'll do my best.
Hunt Palmer of the LSU Sports Radio Network checking in just like he does every Friday. We got Ryan Terrio in studio with us. Terrio's over at Traction. Remember all the information about workout programs over there, whether it's youth programs, hitting, If you want the individual training with the hitting coaches over there, including Ryan Terrio, they've got the adult workout programs over there as well. And as we just told you, flag football signing up over at Traction Sports, online tractionsports.com. Hour 2, we're going to give you weekend headlines, how the weekend headlines are going to look when we get back in here on Monday morning. And Derek Stingley Sr. set to be in studio with us at 8:30. Come back with us, OTB on a Friday. Free Beer Friday.